I've got some news just to hand. It's a readout from the phone call between the Prime Minister and President Trump and basically confirming what Andrew Clennell had reported earlier in the program, and Phil Curry in the AFR also had those details today in relation to the PM being invited to attend the G7 later in the year. The Prime Minister said he was once again pleased to take up the invitation to attend the G7, as he had done last year when invited to do so by President Macron in France. Participation at the G7 for the second year in a row will give Australia another significant opportunity to promote our interests during highly uncertain times in the global economy. It's important for Australians that we are there. Both leaders discussed the distressing situation in the United States and efforts to ensure it would be resolved peacefully. So confirmation that phone call took place at a very difficult time, a precarious time for the United States. We've seen the ongoing violence. These are live pictures coming into us right now, in fact, from New York City. And during this period, as the President having to grapple with that, he made a call to Prime Minister Morrison. We don't know how much was discussed, what details were discussed, but confirmation that the PM and President Trump did discuss the distressing situation in the United States and what efforts there would be to resolve it peacefully. But as you can say, as you can see, a very difficult ask in the face of, again, broken curfews across major cities in the United States. Those images from New York as we speak. Now, when the PM spoke to the President, my understanding is that he was not aware of that assault that we saw on the Channel 7 crew, Amelia Brace and Tim Myers, the cameraman. That they're the images there. That is Tim being assaulted by a police officer, and then a baton being wielded on Amelia as she ran off. The 7 Network reporter there in Washington and the cameraman are both very experienced journalists, and cameraman Tim Myers has served and reported from war zones, and there he's being attacked in the capital city of one of the great democracies. Quite extraordinary. But the Prime Minister said he was not aware at the time of that incident. He has reached out to Channel 7, apparently. The embassy in Washington has also made contact with Amelia and Tim, checking that they're okay. The Prime Minister has apparently also asked the embassy in Washington to investigate the incident and provide further advice on Australia and how we can register the nation's concerns with the responsible local authorities in Washington, D.C. But the PM has reached out to Channel 7 to check on the welfare of the reporter and the cameraman, and also to assure them that the government would provide support if need be, if they needed to pursue a formal complaint with local police authorities through our embassy in Washington, D.C. and through the Ambassador Arthur Sinodinos in that ugly incident. And we've seen so many ugly incidents, but an Australian cameraman and reporter Amelia Brace and the cameraman Tim Myers caught up in it from the 7 Network, just doing their job there on the side of the road, hardly causing a threat to anyone. And the police, as they made their way down, clearing the way on that particular road, slammed into the cameraman and used a baton. You could see there as Amelia Brace ran away at the request of the police. They got out of the way, but it was an ugly incident, and good to see the Prime Minister and the government providing support for those 2 journalists doing their job and reporting on a very difficult situation.